One and all, welcome back to the competitive Age of Empires 4 action. That's right, we are on the test server here. Games from the pre-season 9 showdown that we hosted on this weekend. And we've got a best of 5 set. Myriad versus Deniskia. Opening game is going to be Deniskia with the Abbasids in the blue and Myriad with the Malians in the red. This is this a decent matchup for Malians? On paper, in terms of unit comp, yes. And the reason is because Camel Archers has become prevalent now for the Abbasids. But A, with a spawn like that, what the hell? But B, the problem here is that Malians hate civs that go fast 2TC. Because the old Fulani build just doesn't work very well against it. Your opponent scales eco too quickly. And it's even worse against Abbasids because Abbasids scale it even better due to this. Eco Wing at a Fertile Crescent gives them cheaper TCs. The fresh foodstuffs gives them cheaper villages. This is a really hard matchup for the Malians. The only thing in theory that is good for them is the fact that Abbasids that have been spamming Camel Archers recently will not do it here because Javelin's hard counter. But everything else about this matchup feels like a nightmare. Myriad not trying to take advantage of anything new. I would have loved to have seen an outpost rush. I know I'm a psychopath, but hear me out. The Javelin emplacements are pretty ludicrous that you get from the trade network. So you drop it at home and then you rush across and you can almost immediately afford to start spamming out the outposts and their defenses because the emplacements only cost gold, which you would generate from your starting pit mine anyway. But it looks like we are, sadly, not going to get treated to that. Maybe it's sadly, maybe it's a good thing. Sheep count is actually neck and neck, but remember the Abbasids have all those surplus berries to work with on top of that, so they'll be feeling pretty confident. And in the fact that they are now going to be spending a pretty pathetically cheap 64 food per rotation of TC production while being on 2 TCs, while the Malians will spend 50. It shows you just how ridiculous the Abbasid eco gets and how fast it scales. Myriad is going to be going into the Warrior Scouts here, right? And wait, is this Pro Scouts? I could see why he would want to. Double deer stats kind of ludicrous over there. I'm wondering if that is actually what Deniskia is going to play for. It's greedy, and that's why you go for this Warrior Scout play. Because even the first scout is good enough to make Deniskia think twice about doing anything but the most defensive TC. He's about ready to get that right. Last of the stone required, dropped off. 227 stone and 260 wood. It's insane how cheap these town centers are. And also the farms, right? Like just an extra 5% off. It's really starting to add up. 49 wood per farm means even if you run out of food, you can very comfortably and cozily now transition into mass farms. And it is Pro Scouts. Okay, so Myriad. Is this worth it? I guess you kind of have to do this. But, you know, it's still an expensive tech to get into, right? That's 350 resources. You're going to have to spam up the scouts. The scouts, I don't think, are going to keep much value as the game goes on. It does at least give you an efficient way of boosting your food, because you are going to be up against a scaling economy, right? I don't know if you do Fulani with this, though. This almost feels like it has to be Farimba to make sense. I could see Farimba being a sick way for Myriad to try and execute here. The logic being is you put all that food to good use, right? Whereas when you're going Fulani, it's like, okay, I'm not having to build cows to eat, but really what I need is more wood and gold. Let's see. Speed the game up a little bit more. Archery ranges are coming in from Deniskia. Makes sense, guys. You might think that he's building archers into horsemen. He's actually building camel archers. And by the way, these also aren't horsemen. That's kind of one of the wild things about Warrior Scouts that makes Malians feel very different to most civs. Is like almost every civ has like this horseman that gets bonus against ranged, right? You don't have that as the Malians. Your bonus against ranged comes from your javelins. These guys don't get bonus against ranged until you get Castle Age. Yeah, it kind of makes them awkward. I remember a few months back, I think it was Recom, was trying to do these very interesting Warrior Scout archer builds in Feudal Age. And in theory, it's cool because Warrior Scouts are very cost-efficient tanks, but the DPS contribution is non-existent. So it tended to fall flat more often than succeed. I can't believe he's doing camel archers against Malians. This shouldn't work, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that the Abbasids lose doing this comp, but because now your opponent, I guess it's weird. Like Javelin and Donzo, you counter each other in that situation, right? Horsemen counter the Javelins, Camel Archers counter the Donzos. On the other side, Donzos do counter both of these units. Javelins counter the Camel Archers. The reason the Donzos counter both is that they can throw the spear, and that does get the bonus damage source, right? Still, Camel Archers aren't flimsy, right? 150 HP, they aren't flopping dead easily. Myriad, what in the everlasting greed is that? It's like it's an Abbasid player. They're never going to come out. Myriad just snatching away all the deer. He's almost brought them all home. So plenty of food to work with in his base, which is good because he's going to feel pressure quickly here. And it is the Farimba. We called it. Okay, this is sick. So, do you go Javelin ears, right? Well, because you can't go for the Freeborn. Because Freeborn are bugged right now, folks. Freeborn are meant to be an anti-range melee unit, but the problem is, while they have 5 ranged armor, they're also categorized as light melee, which means that they get countered by archers and camel archers. No, Myriad. No, you don't, surely. He's not going to do it, is he? Myriad, no. But you don't go Mansa Musafadi. There's no reason to. Your opponent's gone mass horsemen and camel archers. Once again, camel archers get bonus damage against that. Please don't build the Freeborn. No. If he goes Freeborn, guys, mark my words, this will be the freest win an Abbasid player's ever had. Moment of truth is coming in. No! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no! He chose the Freeborn! Oh, they're free to be born and immediately die is how that name lines up there. Oh my Gideon, I can't believe it. Wait, was that a misclick? Because he hasn't even started building them yet. We have a problem. He is actually queuing them. So 125 resources each. You're going to see the stats on these. The whole idea is that they are meant to be fast. And they are meant to be kind of a javelin in melee form, if that makes sense. But as I mentioned, they have this tag, light melee infantry. And guess what gets bonus damage against light melee infantry, guys? You ready for this? Camel archers. Also normal archers. It's just so dumb about them. Look at it. Like, in theory, it's a cool unit, right? +4 damage, 9 base, 5 ranged armor, and 165 HP. If you didn't realize that you're getting hit for bonus damage, this would look like a really good unit. The weirdest part, by the way, is that they don't have light written on there, but I've been told that the people have tested this, and archers do bonus damage against them. So there is a mistagging here entirely. It's fine for them to have melee infantry, right? Like, that makes sense. So things like Shinobu get bonus damage, but same with Sofas would get bonus damage. But yeah, no, something was set up wrong with these units. And I think he's about to learn that quickly the hard way. Deniska needs to rush the gold. He's got plenty of food in reserve. More camel archers coming. Oh, if camels do not get nerfed before Season 9, this Civ is going to be second ban-worthy. Dive comes in. Deniska. A little bit slow on the reaction there. So Myriad will start to farm him up. 2 villagers down. Make that 3. Return fire's coming in, though. Check this. Half the army isn't here. It's abroad. So limited defender. I say half the army. Only 2 camel archers are in the base right now. He's going to dive on through. This could be big. And the problem here is it's 2 TC versus 1, right? You can't afford to lose eco. Deniskia can. And this defense is proving effective enough, guys. There's not enough torch power here. This is a mistake from Myriad. Remember, there's a +5 fire armor due to the golden, to the House of Wisdom influence effect here. You get +5 fire armor, and these units are only dealing 17, so a lot of the damage being offset. Meanwhile at home. Wait, the Warrior Scouts haven't been upgraded. They are not a counter to Camel Archers right now. Has at least got Archers coming out, and they are vetted up, which means the Horsemen are going to start to get eradicated here. And Myriad has done a great job of delaying Age 3 from the Abbasids. So, although he didn't get that big hit to Eco, what he's allowed himself to do is stranglehold Daniskia in Age 2 for a moment. Military wing now on the way. And Myriad, there was an army. You wouldn't believe it, though. Should they have heavy or light tag? They should have neither. But I think neither, like, an in-between doesn't exist, I think is the issue here. Because I can't think of another example where a unit would be classed as melee infantry, right? They're either light or heavy. Because it plays into the balancer system, the counter system. So this unit is just completely out of place, is the issue. So yeah, they need to patch that. I think they're aware of it, so it should be fixed by the time Season 9 goes live. But it's not fixed for Myriad's tournament game here, so have fun with that. Because the problem here is you can only choose one, and once you choose it, it's done. You only get another choice when you go Imperial Age. Military wing now on the way. 40 seconds out for Daniskia. That's going to be perfect. Camel Riders will be a good counter here to the veteran Sofas. He has no spearmen either, so no direct answer to camels. Guys, camels are just broken. Can we just accept that? Like, we've started to acknowledge that, like, you know, obviously the camel lancers were OP, and now we're like, wow, camel raiders are pretty good. Camel archers and camel riders are really good as well. Maybe a little bit too good. What are the stats of Mansa Musafadi? I believe Mansa Musafadi was 4 melee armor, 125 HP, and 9 damage with 1.38 move speed. The Mansa Musafadi are pretty damn good. Like, we actually had a really sick game in one of our show matches. Mansa Musafadi versus All Pikes. Yeah, guess how that one came out. All Pikes is kind of broken. But the Mansa Musafadi looked like they were going to hold on for a second. Tech out complete. Camel Archers on the way. We've also got Ghulams. Another nightmare for the mass freeborn strategy. The other weird thing with freeborn... Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, they do. It's just the UI doesn't update. Yeah, I was about to say, you should be able to build these out of the Raxes, but you're paying a premium, right, compared to Musafadi. These guys cost 125 resources. I like the chat backing me up here. That could be the right stats. It could also not be the right stats. Those are the options. The poke at the villagers. He needs every little bit he can get, right? Like, we're talking about almost a 40 eco lead for Daniskia. And reminder, this is not your, oh, but the Malians have got Fulani. This is a Farimba build. Fun fact, I have yet to see a Farimba build work on Season 9. Fun fact, I am still going to yet to see a Farimba build work on Season 9. Oh, no. Oh, the Camel Archers counter the Freeborn. This is not how it was meant to work. Yeah, just to really emphasize it to people, these Camel Archers are doing 28 damage. No, sorry, let me correct that. 30 damage and then -6. They're doing 24 damage per strike against a unit that's meant to counter them. The Archers are a better counter to Camel Archers than the Freeborn Warriors. Myriad is starting to get into the Archer count, in fairness. The bigger problem now is the Ghulams. He has no answer to Ghulams. And, like, it's scary now trying to go Mansa because your opponent already has Camel Archers, which counter the Musafadi as well. Myriad now trying to get across into the Muso. Really, it's kind of awkward. It feels like you need Sofas, but your opponent has the potential to go into the Camel Riders, right? I mean, Sofas are really good as a response to Ghulams because the double strike just doesn't really matter against that much melee armor. It just feels like Myriad on 1 TC without Fulani. How the hell do you ever afford Mass Sofa? And you're seeing him at least clean up the backside, but now the Ghulams are completely unanswered. So Myriad trying to switch over into those Musafadi. Wishes he'd picked the Mansa Musafadi, a real unit in this game. Don't worry, Myriad. I know... Okay, come closer, Myriad. Are you listening? I know how you can get the Mansa Musafadi. You ready for it? You've just got to get Imperial Age. It's that simple. Just go age 4, forehead. Yeah, something tells me this game is going to end in age 3. Myriad doing a good job of actually trading out the way he is currently. The Ghulams are beginning to just mop up the core of this army. The problem right now is Myriad just didn't have poison arrows ready in time. It's only now being prepped, so definitely feeling the pain from that. And Deniskia, if I'm not mistaken, we're heading to Mass Archer versus Mass Archer now. This is kind of crazy, guys, because funnily enough, if Deniskia had just done this sooner, he'd already have won the game. I've watched a decent amount of Abbasid versus Malians. There's a multiple set of reasons why Abbasids feel favored. At this point in the game, the #1 biggest one is their Mass Archers are better than Malian Mass Archers. Because although these archers have the poisoned arrow, that does not even hold a candle to composite bows. Have we at least got like 2 TC? Oh, we have. Okay, I wonder why Myriad wasn't falling further behind. So 2 TC just came online. If Deniskia wanted, he could just go Imperial. And then Myriad would get to go Imperial, and we get to see Mansa Musafadi. Oh, it'll work out. Probably not going that way, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but they don't upgrade for free. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I guess it would be broken if they did auto-upgrade, but Farimba feels kind of underwhelming. With Poison Arrow, should you A-move against MAA or Focus Fire? I mean, you're going to want to A-move just to stay out of range of them, because you want to start a step. And Focus Firing can kind of mess with the flow of that, so it's okay to Poison Arrow, like, start a step, but yeah, even then, you want something else that can break through men arms quicker. You'd be better having Musafadi. 5-batch Farimba back with the new stuff in it. That might be too good. It's a tricky one right now, I think, with Malians. I feel like you could do that, but you've got to do something to stop them from being so good at defending. Like maybe Javelins in Feudal Age only have 5 like range or something. Because otherwise you just have this tricky situation where they'll hunker down, they'll get Farimba, and they'll have Zerg and Quality, right? Like that's the scary thought. Myriad, bless him. He's had this pit mine for a long time, but it is going to be brought down now. I'm going to speed this up a bit because he's trying to actually prep an army to defend with. The problem is his entire army structure gets countered by masked archers. It is kind of funny. I'm wondering if Deniskia realized that Freeborn get countered by archers as well. Because if he did, I feel like he would have went for it sooner. This is probably the last stand because so far, Myriad has done a fantastic job of trading out. That ends now. You cannot beat mass archers here. Deniskia just brute forcing his way through, almost double military, soon to be triple. Ghulam's just not dying quick enough either. The poison arrows simply not good enough, and the Musafadi count simply too low. So we're going to be opening this series with a win for Deniskia, but best of 5s, folks. So still plenty to come. I'm so sorry, Myriad, man. You know what? You know what we've learned from Myriad here is he needs to watch my stream more because we've watched 2 people already suffer from trying to build Freeborn. This is punishment for not catching enough of our live streams. Final push coming in. Myriad is just processing the defeat now. There's really no type of eco scaling that will get him back in at this stage. It's a 50 eco lead for his opponent. And without Fulani, these cattle ranches are pretty underwhelming. All right. Guys, I think Abbasids are really, truly going to get second pick banned in Season 9. I think they're just ridiculous. If not second pick, they're getting first picked almost every series. This Civ is about to be on top. Frimber is trash. Remember to subscribe.